So in this second part, we will discuss about the particle when it traps. So when the particle traps here in this zone, so then maybe I'll just zoom and keep the cell here. So in this particular cell, so if the particle traps, right? So then there will be a change in porosity. So it behaves like a porous media. So it is a porous media, right? In the porous media, we need to incorporate these resistances. So one resistance is inertial resistance and other one is viscous resistance. So due to the high flow, we'll be taking considering inertial resistance in these cell zones which are adjacent to the interface. So we will not bother viscous resistance with the low value. So we'll take the inertial resistance which is significant. So we'll consider that inertial resistance and then we'll add that inertial resistance into these zones which are adjacent to the interface of the porous jump as a source. So this is nothing but we are trying to reduce the momentum of the domain of the cell zone which is adjacent to the interface by giving a negative source to x, y and z momentums. So for all these three momentum, so we will be giving a negative value. We will try to remove the momentum from this which is proportional to the amount of number of particles that will accumulate here. So once the particles accumulate, we should need to bother about the volume of the total number of particles. So here you can see dp is the average particle dia, and this is porosity. So porosity is nothing but 1 minus solid volume by fluid volume. Sorry, fluid volume minus solid volume by fluid volume. Okay, fluid volume minus solid volume by fluid volume. So what is solid volume? Or this can be written as 1 minus solid volume by fluid volume. So we know fluid volume from the cell C underscore volume C comma T. So obviously this gives automatically this gives C underscore volume C comma T would give the number of particles or sorry volume of the cell. Now as the particles try to accumulate when it traps in this cell, then we will try to increase the or calculate the volume that is been trapped by using pi by 6 dpq. So this is the volume of each particle that is being trapped which is adjacent to the interface, right? So initially this is pi by 6 dpq, dp may be d1, d2, d3 depending on the number of particles coming and trapping there. So adding all these volumes sigma pi by 6 diq, I equals to 1 to maybe number of particles how much will be trapped along the time duration, right? And after trapping this we will be getting the solid fraction by fluid fraction will give this, and 1 minus that would give the porosity. So we will know the porosity, and then the other one is dp, average particle dia. So whenever the particle is trapping we will try to capture that volumes and we will try to add all the volumes of all the diameters of each and every individual particle, and we will try to divide it by the number of particles that are trapped. So that gives the average particle dia. So we will try to calculate this and we need to integrate as a source term in order to have the effect of particle trapping and creating an obstruction to the flow to model the porous media. But that for that we will try to use define dpm boundary condition. This will help in solving our problem for the cells which are adjacent to the interface. But what about these cells which is not at the adjacent? In that case we'll use another macro called define dpm scalar update. So define dpm scalar update. So these other macro what we use. So in both of these macros, what we try to do is just try to remove this one. So both of these, maybe I'll just open this part of this UDF also. I just want to show you what is the change compared to the previous UDF what we have worked for particle trapping. So here we are including the porosity also into effect, so which is much more realistic and accurate with respect to the experimental study what we do. Now, so this is a struct what I am creating for an array. For an array. So my array is nothing but named of trapped particles. So trapped particles is my array. So which is a starts with 0, or it can be 1, or it can be 2, or it can be 3. And this array is not of int type or real type or float type. So this doesn't, it's not of any of these types. It is of struct type. So what does it means? It has many other individual variables for each array. So trapped particle of 0 has double x comma y comma z as well as diameter. Similarly, 1 will also have these variables. 2 will also have these variables. So this is a global declaration what I have done for the entire UDF, right? So now here you can see in the previous case we are only checking with Vn is less than Vcr. Then we are saying particle is trapped. Now we are adding another variable that is called is near. So we are checking when the particle, first particle is trapped on this cell onto the face. If the second particle is that is coming, and if it is very near to the particle which is already trapped, we are assuming that that should also be get trapped, right? So when the particle it hits the face of the porous domain, we'll check for Vn less than Vcr, that is first case, or else if the new particle that is coming, if it hits this particle, right, then also it can trap. Indirectly, without even hitting, we are just making a criteria saying that if the distance between these two particles is less than the radius of the particle. So if the distance between these two particles is less than the radius of the particle, then also we are saying that this particle should be trapped. There is two criteria. One is with respect to the critical velocity, and other is with respect to the particle distance, right? So any of this condition, we are saying that the particle is trapped, and store that x, y, z and the diameter of the particle which is trapped into this globally declared array, right? And else we are also trying to increase the n underscore trapped plus plus. It means it is increased by one more number. So now we'll try to check this under max trapped. This is a fixed value what we are giving, like 7000 or something. I'll just show it in the UDF. So this is the value. So the particle trapping would go on increasing until this value. It means in a single cell I am confining that approximately 7000 particles can be trapped. I'll just show you what is the limit I'm taken. Sorry, it's around 1 lakh. So 1 lakh particles I have taken. So in a single cell, the number of particles that can be trapped I have stated as 1 lakh. This you can verify with the volume fraction also. But anyways, I just taken random value 1 lakh. So the number of particles getting trapped, when it increases, this number index also increases. As this increases, so we have declared globally, right? So this global declaration of array number also increases from 0, 1, 2, 3 because entrapped plus plus. So its value increased, and that the storage of the area also increases. So as the particles more and more trap, this would be updated. With respect to this update, I will show you. So with respect to that update, we are trying to increase the number, and we are trying to use a define adjust function to replicate that. So maybe you can see here c underscore udma c comma t comma thread 2, right? So this is, I'll just go there, let you drive there. So this is nothing but c. We are trying to define in this way with respect to the increase in trapping. If the trapping is increased, this also increases. So if this is increased, that is nothing but the volume fraction. In order to calculate the volume of the solid that would be present, so that you are using that criteria to calculate the solid volume. So you can see here, this is the particle volume, individual particle volume. I am dividing here by density, because here we have multiplied with the density in order to find the mass of the particle. So I'm dividing by density to get the volume of the particles that are deposited. Divided by the cell volume will give the porosity. And I am storing the porosity in some UDMA to check whether how it is going on. And if the fraction, I mean, so if the solid by like air fraction, that is an empty volume fraction, if it is too low, it's of no use. We can say that it is not having any porous effects. So that's the reason why I have created a criteria saying that if the ratio is greater than 1 e power minus 5, then you can show a impact. So you can store that then into this. Then we are calculating the inertial resistance. So sorry, initial I've shown you this resistance, but that is a viscous resistance. Inertial resistance also we do have calculated. No, sorry, this is a viscous resistance what I have considered for the calculations. Because this is a viscous resistance that I have included in the term. So because as the velocity is less than 0.1 what I have considered, multiplying with the point with another 0.1 in the v square, so the value would be very much low. So I have not considered this. I have considered only viscous resistance, and the viscous resistance I have integrated with this, and I'm using that value c underscore udma c comma porous thread comma 7, and I'm integrating in all the momentum source, y momentum source, and z momentum source by directly multiplying with its corresponding velocity in u, v, and w directions, right? And I have written a, as I stated, I've written a global struct definition and a global array so that it will be stored even for defined DPM boundary condition and defined DPM scalar update. So this is for the cells which are not adjacent to boundary. So which is not adjacent to boundary, I have defined this, and I have stated, so where we will check with the radius between the already trapped particle and the new particle, that is using this. If you can see, this is the checking what we are doing. Okay, so this 0.5 into the trapped particle dia, it gives the trapped radius. So if the distance is less than that minimum distance, which is minimum distance is nothing but here the radius, it will return 1. So it will return means, so the particle will trap. So this is the UD of what we have integrated. Maybe I'll just help you in going to the same part. So nothing else more we needed to do. We'll just go here and we'll hook this scalar update in DF from the compiled thing, and we'll try to increase the memory locations compared to the previous case file, and we can just, so whatever the momentum sources we have what I've shown here, x momentum, y momentum, z momentum. So we just need to go to the here part inside A, and we need to hook here x momentum, y momentum, and z momentum. Okay, so I have turned on along with the particles, as we now need to take care of the porosity and permeability. So I have also turned on the flow, turbulence, as well as dense discrete phase. So you can see both I have activated. For every 2 iterations of the flow, I am asking it to inject with respect to 2 time step for 0.001 particle time step. So I asked it to inject 4 streams, right? So now maybe I'll run for some time and I'll show you how this exactly happens. So So maybe now I'll show you the in our UDF, whatever the resistances we have discussed is C underscore UEMI 7. This is the resistance, because this helps in calculating the viscous resistance, which is nothing but tries to hinder the flow by removing the momentum from those cell zones, right? So if this value is positive, obviously we are trying to multiply with the negative for x momentum, y momentum, and z momentum, so it decreases the momentum in those regions. So obviously this is positive, it means it is going as per the request. So now you can see, so there is trapping here, so that is the reason why this is becoming more porous and the momentum is getting removed here. The remaining zones are not in the same way. So now we can have this scene also where I've activated both counters as well as particles. So now you can see particles are getting trapped on those locations where there is an obstruction with respect to the permeability, right? So now you can see the both ways. So as discussed in the first part the particles are being trapped only due to the velocities. If it is hitting the interface, if the velocity of the hitting particle interface velocity is less than the critical velocity, it will stop. But in this case, it is also checked with the trapped particle uh, distance between the trapped particle and the new particle approaching, and if it is less than the radius, then also it traps. Depending on the trapped particle, again a new particle will follow the same algo and it will check for the trapping criteria. So this is the two things what we have incorporated into our simulation, and we have seen what is the mass of the deposition. Maybe I'll now can show you. So the total mass of the deposition is with respect to the C underscore DMA2. So you can check here. So the mass of the deposition is this, the particles. So as the time progresses, more and more particles will stop here, and it will create more porous media and a dense porous media, and we cannot have the air flow through that, and there is a huge pressure drop in those cases. So that is the real time scenario, and will help. This helps in checking the what is the deposition rate of the particles on the filter, and at what time we need to replace the filter, right? So these are the out maybe some summary what you can take from this simulation. Okay, thank you.